In the year 1867, the open prairies of Texas stretched endlessly beneath a blazing sun, a vast and rugged land that demanded endurance, skill, and courage from all who sought to tame it. The Civil War had ended just 2 years prior, leaving Texas and much of the South in recovery. But life on the frontier never paused, and for many, the call of the open range offered both opportunity and necessity. Amidst this backdrop, the Texas cowboy emerged, a figure who would come to define not just the state, but the very image of America itself. The Chisholm Trail, running from the ranches of South Texas through the heart of the Lone Star State and into railheads in Kansas, became the lifeblood of the cattle industry. Tens of thousands of longhorns, hardy beasts adapted to the tough Texan terrain, were driven northward to meet the booming demand for beef in a rapidly industrializing America. Cowboys, often young men barely out of adolescence, were hired to guide these herds across hundreds of miles of unpredictable terrain, facing scorching days, frigid nights, and the constant threat of stampedes, river crossings, and rustlers. Their work was grueling, requiring intimate knowledge of livestock, topography, and weather. A single misstep could mean the loss of dozens of cattle or a life. But the cowboy was more than just a worker. He was an American archetype. Dressed in rugged leather chaps, wide-brimmed hats, and boots designed to withstand thorny brush and long rides, he became the symbol of independence, self-reliance, and grit. Horses were extensions of themselves, companions through sun-drenched plains and starlit nights. Lariats twirled in practiced hands, and a well-timed spur could save a herd from disaster. Cowboys sang soft songs by campfires, telling stories of courage, hardship, and camaraderie. Their days were dictated by the rhythm of the herd, the call of the land, and the necessity of survival. It was a life that demanded resilience, bravery, and skill, the exact qualities Americans admired and aspired to. The Chisholm Trail was not just a cattle route. It was a proving ground for the men who would define the Texas cowboy. They faced hostile terrain, unpredictable weather, and encounters with wild animals or bandits. They forged bonds through shared hardship, relying on teamwork and trust. Each successful drive reinforced their reputation as stewards of the land and protectors of a fledgling industry that would feed the nation. Their work symbolized the promise of America itself, that courage, hard work, and independence could turn raw opportunity into prosperity. From the Texas plains to distant cities, Americans began to see the cowboy as an emblem of freedom, endurance, and national pride, a living testament to the pioneering spirit that expanded the country. Driving cattle along the Chisholm Trail was an exercise in endurance, skill, and nerve. Each morning began before sunrise, with the air heavy with the scent of dust and livestock. Cowboys rode for hours, their eyes scanning the horizon for hazards, holes, quicksand, or wandering predators that could scatter a herd in seconds. Communication was key. Hand signals, shouted commands, and the steady rhythm of horse hooves kept the herd organized. A single misstep could send hundreds of cattle careening in every direction, creating chaos that could last for miles. The trail tested every cowboy's skill, judgment, and composure under pressure. Beyond the physical demands, there was the ever-present threat of human interference. Outlaws, cattle rustlers, and rival ranchers lurked along the trail, seeking opportunities to steal livestock or exact revenge. Cowboys had to remain vigilant at all times, often riding for hours without rest, ready to defend the herd with their fists, revolvers, or sheer cunning. Encounters with hostile forces required quick thinking and bravery, with the lives of men and animals hanging in the balance. Cowboys became legends not only for their ability to tame animals, but also for their courage in facing the unpredictable dangers of frontier life. Each narrow escape and successful drive added to a growing mythology, turning ordinary ranch hands into national icons. The long days on horseback were punctuated by nights under the stars, with campfires providing warmth, food, and a brief respite from the relentless demands of the trail. Stories, jokes, and songs carried across the plains, strengthening bonds and passing down knowledge from veteran cowboys to novices. Horses and dogs became trusted companions, and every mile traveled forged an unbreakable connection between man and the land. The cowboy's identity was inseparable from the trail itself, a life defined by labor, courage, and an intimate understanding of the natural world. Americans outside Texas began to romanticize these men, seeing them as embodiments of freedom, independence, and rugged determination. They were pioneers, explorers, and protectors of a new frontier, proving that hard work, courage, and ingenuity could triumph over even the harshest conditions. By the time a herd reached the railheads in Kansas, every cowboy had endured countless trials, storms, stampedes, and encounters with both man and nature. These trials were the crucible that shaped the legend of the Texas cowboy. News of their exploits spread back east through newspapers and letters, painting a picture of men whose strength, resolve, and skill made the American frontier safer and more prosperous. The cowboy was no longer just a worker. He became a symbol of national pride. He represented the spirit of expansion, courage, and determination that defined America's identity in the post-Civil War era. The legacy of the Texas cowboy extends far beyond the Chisholm Trail. By mastering the challenges of cattle drives, protecting the land, and thriving in a harsh and untamed environment, cowboys became living symbols of the American spirit. Their image, hat tipped low, lariat in hand, horse galloping across an endless plain, captured the imagination of Americans everywhere. In the late 19th century, dime novels, newspaper stories, and traveling shows began to celebrate the exploits of cowboys, cementing their place in national mythology. Texas cowboys were more than adventurers. They were the linchpins of a vital industry that supplied beef to a growing nation. Each drive ensured prosperity for ranchers, fed cities, and symbolized America's ability to harness opportunity from challenging circumstances. Cowboys were celebrated for their independence, bravery, and unbreakable work ethic, qualities that became defining features of American identity. To the people of Texas and the nation as a whole, they represented freedom, resilience, and the belief that determination could overcome any obstacle. Even after the frontier era ended, the cowboy remained a cultural icon, influencing fashion, music, and entertainment. Rodeos and Western films immortalized the grit, ingenuity, and courage of these men. Americans looked to the cowboy as a model of character and heroism, a reminder that the values forged in the wild plains of Texas, courage, self-reliance, and perseverance, were central to the nation's identity. The cowboy became synonymous with freedom and the pioneering spirit that expanded America from coast to coast. Today, the Texas cowboy remains a source of pride and inspiration. He embodies the qualities that Americans admire most: resilience, courage, skill, and an unwavering sense of duty. From the Chisholm Trail to modern Texas ranches, the legacy of these men continues to influence the nation's imagination, reminding every citizen that America's greatness is built on the bravery, hard work, and unyielding spirit of those willing to ride into the unknown and shape a brighter future. Texans and Americans alike can celebrate the cowboy as a symbol of national pride, a living testament to the enduring strength and freedom that define the country.